The Bunker household begins with a familiar argument echoing through the dining room walls. Archie complains loudly about the phone cord stretching across the floor, nearly making him trip 3 times. Edith, stirring sauce in the kitchen, tells him patiently to simply pick up the phone instead of yelling about it. After grumbling and stepping over chairs to reach it, Archie answers only to be greeted by an emotional Barney Hefner on the line. Barney is sobbing uncontrollably, his words tangled with grief. Archie yells at him to pull himself together, insisting he cannot understand a grown man crying like a baby. When Barney finally manages to explain news drops like a hammer his wife Blanche has run away again, Archie responds not with sympathy, but mild amusement, commenting that Blanche used to run in the Olympics if leaving husbands were a sport. But then Barney declares he wants to kill himself. That freezes the room. Archie's voice changes. Panic spreads. He orders Edith to keep Barney talking while he races out the door. Upon reaching Barney's house, Archie finds him holding a rifle, distraught and confused. Archie forces a conversation sitting beside him, reminding him this isn't the first time Blanche has left. He recounts past incidents almost casually, listing them like baseball statistics. Barney insists this time is different. Blanche vanished with a furnace inspector. Archie shakes his head in disbelief and sarcastically notes Blanche could fall in love with anyone who repairs anything in her house. Eventually, Archie persuades Barney to put the gun away, encouraging him to eat instead of ending everything. Food in Archie's worldview cures all emotional wounds. Barney reluctantly agrees. Later that night, back at the Bunker home, Edith expresses worry about Barney's mental state. Archie remarks that loneliness is a disease that strikes men harder than women, a belief based more on stubbornness than science. Edith gently counters, insisting women feel pain just as deeply. Their conversation soon shifts when Edith reveals they invited a widowed friend, Martha, to dinner. Martha's husband once owned several supermarkets, and she has since inherited valuable bonds and jewelry. Archie's eyes gleam at the mention of financial stability. Suddenly, he hatches a plan to invite Barney to join them, hoping he and Martha might connect emotionally and economically. Edith scolds him, saying, "A woman can smell greed faster than cologne." Archie assures her he's only thinking of Barney's happiness, although his smirk betrays motives. When Martha arrives, she radiates grace, dressed in pearls and soft perfume. Edith compliments her earrings. Martha proudly explains they are diamonds bought using tax-free bonds. Archie's eyebrows practically jump off his forehead. He sits close, asking probing questions about finances under the guise of polite curiosity. Edith elbows him, but he continues slyly, remarking that widows need protection from cunning businessmen. Martha, perceptive, smiles knowingly but avoids the bait. Barney eventually arrives, nervous and skeptical. When he meets Martha, they exchange polite words, but he's more interested in the aroma drifting from the kitchen. Still, Edith encourages them to sit together on the couch, where awkward small talk begins. Martha compliments Barney's tie. He blurts that he ironed it himself, then winces at his own clumsy humor. Slowly, laughter builds between them, replacing discomfort. Archie watches, proudly convinced Cupid must have been a plumber in a previous life. Days pass, and suddenly Martha visits Edith, practically glowing. She gushes about Barney. They have gone bowling, watched romantic plays, and laughed more than she has in years. Her voice trembles not from age, but excitement. She confides that her wealth is both blessing and burden. Men often chase her wallet before her heart. Yet Barney seems sincere, cooking healthy dinners and insisting she eat vegetables. Edith melts at the sweetness. When Barney stops by to retrieve her for an evening date, he affectionately calls her "my little butterball." Martha giggles, walking out on his arm like teenagers, rediscovering youth. Once the door closes, Archie wonders aloud what will happen if Blanche returns. He jokes that all a man needs to do to make Blanche leave permanently is break the furnace, the roof, the pipes, the toaster. She'll follow repairmen like breadcrumbs. Edith admonishes him for cruelty, but Archie just shrugs. Meanwhile, in another chapter of domestic turbulence, Archie receives a financial opportunity from his estranged brother, Fred. Fred pitches a business syndicate for a nationwide chain of Chinese cafeterias. Archie's imagination spirals, rows of restaurants, golden dragons on every corner, wealth dripping from chopsticks. He explains to Edith that money must work for the family, otherwise it becomes lazy. Edith, cautiously warns him about mixing family with business, recalling that Archie once knocked out Fred's tooth over a misunderstanding. Archie denies responsibility but claims he could identify the culprit by pointing dramatically. The following week, Archie meets Fred at the bar, who brings two shady-looking businessmen. They speak quickly, promising astronomical returns. Archie nods, pretending comprehension, repeating words like franchise diversification until they lose meaning. He signs investment papers with a flourish. Unfortunately, soon everything collapses. The businessmen disappear. Fred confesses he was fooled too. Archie fumes, declaring fraud should be illegal even when technically legal. Edith comforts both men, stating broken pride wounds deeper than empty wallet. Tension at home grows when conversations turn toward children and discipline. Gloria argues for emotional sensitivity. Mike quotes modern psychology. Archie counters by praising old-fashioned toughness, insisting beatings taught respect. Mike retorts that trauma isn't education. Archie yells back that previous generations turned out fine. Mike points to Archie as a counterexample. Edith sighs yet again. Another day brings burglary news throughout the neighborhood. Gloria panics, fearing criminals lurking outside. Archie mocks her anxiety until he learns one burglary occurred across the street. Suddenly, he instructs Edith to lock every window, every drawer, even the flower vase. When Gloria asks what a locked vase protects, Archie retorts that criminals are unpredictable. Later, Gloria welcomes Trudy, a thoughtful friend advocating gentle parenting. Archie feels threatened by her academic vocabulary. Trudy patiently explains that children internalize emotional patterns from their parents. Archie claims children internalize belts, not lectures. Mike rolls his eyes and sarcastically applauds Archie's wisdom, while Edith quietly tends to coffee, absorbing conflict. Events escalate when Gloria experiences stomach cramps. Panic erupts. Archie frantically prepares towels. Mike recites medical symptoms faster than a sports commentator. Edith calls the doctor, who diagnoses gastritis. Everyone exhales. Archie, regaining confidence, declares he knew it all along, brushing off hysterics he himself created. Family dinners continue, but a cloud of anxiety hovers. Gloria confesses she fears the future of motherhood. Society pressures her. What if she's not ready? Mike reassures her, saying love doesn't follow a calendar. Edith emphasizes trusting instincts, while Archie warns that delaying children may lead to regret. The emotional weight of expectations settles into furniture like dust in old cushions. At the same time, Barney's relationship flourishes. He visits, less frequently dressed, sharper smiling, wider. He thanks Archie for pushing him to meet Martha. Archie absorbs praise like sunshine. Meanwhile, the Chinese cafeteria investment becomes the household's running joke. Mike teases Archie by offering chopsticks at every meal. Gloria slips fortune cookies into Archie's lunchbox, each with sarcastic fortunes like invest wisely, not wildly. Edith laughs silently while Archie pretends to ignore them. Soon Fred returns apologetically, offering to repay some money. Archie forgives him, bonding over brotherly failure rather than brotherly wealth. Edith watches lovingly, whispering later that family is richer than any restaurant chain could be. Life slowly settles back into its chaotic routine until the next problem knocks on the door, because in this household, calm always feels temporary, like the pause between waves or the breath before another argument erupts.